Remember, they only take 2, though, as Morgan falters a bit. They only take 2 for the last 2 positions at the gate for the 250 main event.
Now, Morgan, are we talking about the snowmobile guy?
Here comes number 20, Damon Huffman, and Morgan holding him off.
How about that? I mean, every time I see a snowcross, these guys race the snowmobiles. It's basically Supercross in the snow. Morgan is the McGrath there. And he's dicing it with Damon Huffman, who has won 125 Supercross championships. I mean, that's a pretty good matchup right there. And Morgan's holding his own.
Blair Morgan out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, with Blackfoot Honda right now.
Easy for you to say.
Henry went the other direction after he retired from Supercross, and his last victory was right here in Las Vegas on the 4-stroke. He went to snowmobiling. Well, Blair's trying Supercross right now and doing a darn good job of it.
I've seen him ride before. I saw him ride at it. Oh, look at that block pass. You know, I think Blair's going, you know what? I don't want to get knocked down. I don't want to.
Oh, and Blair goes down on the whoops, trying to hold on to Damon Huffman.
Yeah, I think the pressure got to him a little bit. He started thinking a little bit. I was about to say, you know, second would be bad as long as I get to the main event. It had to be going through his mind. You know, he doesn't have the kind of experience, especially in Supercross, to hold off a guy like Huffman. He's been in the top 10 a bunch of times this year. Let's look at it again. He comes right into the whoops. What ends up happening is his front wheel dives down into one of those, and he's leaning a little bit to the left. He tries to steer around Huffman. And he just can't stick the nose into one of those things. They're almost 3 feet high. He found out. I think the snow would have been a little more forgiving in that case.
I don't know.
Well, I'm only chuckling because I know he's okay. But that's a good effort until there.
And so number 20 on the Yamaha, Damon Huffman, is looking forward now to his 2nd consecutive win in an LCQ. He turned the trick in Salt Lake City as well.
No main event wins for Huffman this year, but he's won a lot of semis and a couple of last chance qualifiers to get to the main event. Anytime you get the checkered flag, you know, you never can count out anybody that's on the line. Thomas, pretty aggressive rider back there in 2nd.
He had one of the best rides of any privateer at St. Louis when he took a 6th place. Let's check in with Davey Coombs trackside. Davey?
Well, right now, our the 3rd place rider is Jimmy Wilson. He's Yamaha privateer from Michigan. He rides for some guys at FreshDirt.com. But listen to this. He's won the Racer X gas card, which we give at every one of these events 5 times this year as the 3rd place finisher in the last chance qualifier. Wilson's won so much money from us next year, I think we're going to call it the Wilson X gas card.
The Racer X editor, founder, most everything, Davey Coombs. They're taking money right out of his pocket, David.
Yes, they are. But, you know, that's a pretty neat award because why not, you know, it's not a lot of money, but it's enough, you know, and it goes to the right guy. You got it just as soon as you qualify for the main event, you got a pretty healthy check if you don't even start.
The white flag is out. A capacity crowd of 39,043 here at Sandpoint Stadium in Las Vegas. Have seen some great racing in the preliminary round so far. And Damon Huffman, number 20, out in front here in the last chance qualifier, is pulling away.
He's getting some airtime. And I don't just mean out there on the track. He's got as much time as McGrath got for winning that 1st heat. Just dominating this last chance qualifier. And think of the laps he's ridden. You know, he's ridden more laps than anybody else in the main event.
Great shot. You can almost see the whites of his eyes there like the EA Sports game. 2nd top privateer in points. He's 10th in the 250 points. His best was the 6th at St. Louis. As he looks at the checkered flag right now, 1995, Huffman saw those checkers in the 125 division. So Huffman wins our last chance qualifier, and his mechanic doesn't have much time to look at that machine and get back out for the main event.
No, pretty much he's going to change goggles, get something to drink, go right back down to the line for the main event. His mechanic will just look it over quickly, put a little more gas in it, and he's got to get down there.
So Damon picks off the 1st place. Jason Thomas on the Husqvarna will also go to the main event, with Jimmy Wilson gets the Racer X gas card. Dustin Nelson, Ryan Clark also putting in good performances, but not making the main event tonight. Let's go back to the pit area. Robbie Floyd
Well, I'm actually down here on the floor. I finally get to see what this track's all about, and that's something you're very used to. Jimmy and Jim Adams are probably the biggest SFX Motorsports fans out there. How many arena crosses and Supercross have you made the past 3 years?
Combined, probably about 40, 45.
And you're good friends with these guys, too.
Oh, definitely been coming every weekend, and they're just great guys.
It just doesn't seem to get old either.
No, we enjoy it. It's a great sport. SFX does a great job. It's new every weekend. It's exciting. It's something you need to see.
You know, one thing I haven't seen you at yet, the Vans Triple Crown of Freestyle Motocross. I want you at one of those IFMA events. I guarantee you'll have a good time. Maybe you can root on your buddy Travis.
See you there. Thank you.
All right, guys. These are the #1 fans in Supercross. No doubt about it.
It all started as a birthday present. As if the son got good grades, then he would take him to a Supercross, and it's ended up they've got the record for the consecutive string, I think.
That's what I'm doing wrong. See, I got my son down there roaming around the pits, hanging out with Fonseca and his trainer Todd, and I'm letting him get away with a little too much, I think.
The 125s always give us competitive action. The East gave us a good points chase between the eventual champion Travis Pastrana and Nathan Ramsey. Let's take a brief look. Travis Pastrana taking the 125 East. Ernesto Fonseca became the first rider to win a 125 West and a 125 East title, taking the checkers 5 times in the Western Crown Chase this year. And the West was just as wild as the East, that's for sure. the East and the West went right down to the last race in their respective divisions before the title was finally clinched. Let's take a look now at the Davy Coombs Sr. East-West shootout here in Las Vegas. And of course, David Coombs so instrumental in developing the younger riders coming out of motocross. Grant Langston, the best time in qualifying. Travis Pastrana, the second choice of gate. Travis Preston and Nathan Ramsey also in our starting lineup, along with Roderick Kane, who's been hot lately on that Suzuki. Michael Brown, it's been a while since he's been racing in the other division, but Ernesto Fonseca won last week at Salt Lake City and took the title there. Kelly Smith, he knows what that KTM is all about. David Pingree riding with very, very sore ribs. Brock Sellards, who's had his season interrupted by corrective forearm surgery. He's had a tough time of it, David.
He has, and you know, when you have injuries on top of trying to get used to a new team, you see Nick Way also in the lineup. He's pretty far down the list, but don't let that fool you. He's a strong rider. He's never won a Supercross. This could be the one, but it really comes down to the start. Sellards, though, rebounding pretty good from all the problems he's had. He seems to be getting comfortable with that bike. And one thing I've noticed about that KTM, when this comes down to horsepower, they have it. They talk about that YZ250F four-stroke having an advantage. I think they should be looking at this KTM. There's one right there. Langston lining up to the outside of the starter box. Now, he knows that if he doesn't get ahead of the guys to the inside, he's got a lot of guys pushing him wide in that first corner. He better get a good reaction.
Davies down near the gate.
Well, I got to tell you what, I'm surprised that Langston's picked too, David Bailey. He's been getting really good jumps. He had the first pick. He decided to go to the outside of the box. Maybe he's going to swoosh in. Robbie?
Well, guys, I'm looking at Ernesto Fonseca and Nathan Ramsey, both inside of Travis Pastrana. That's not good news if I'm Travis Pastrana, because those guys are going to be pushing him as wide as they possibly can. And Nene and Fonseca have the inside line straight shot to look for both of those teammates to run that inside line.
You know what I've noticed, though, about those four strokes? It seems like these guys are having a tough time getting right off over the line. It's difficult. It's a whole different sound to that motorcycle, and they're having a tough time with reaction. If Travis gets an elbow ahead of Ramsey, he doesn't have to worry about either one of them.
32nd board is sideways. We're all set for the 125 shootout. The East-West, it's the bragging race for the 125s. 46, Pingree with the sore ribs, gets the hole shot. Look at Ernesto Fonseca, though. He's right next to Brock Sellards. Fonseca in second. Fonseca to the inside. Can't catch up with Pingree this time. Pingree has done well here in Las Vegas before.
This kind of looks like last week. There you see Travis in about 5th right there. He's in contention. Look at Fonseca, though, going right to work, trying to jump over Pingree. These guys fought it out in the first lap last week. The roles in reverse, but still the same players. Sellards in there with a good start. Somebody we haven't even really talked about in terms of the height for this race. Watch Fonseca in the whoops.
KTMs versus Yamahas right here. The four-stroke of Fonseca. He takes the lead from Pingree.
That's
There's
bad
Ramsey.
news.
Ramsey is 28. He's in 3rd place now. He'll be hounding Pingree.
Well, you know, we talked about possible team riding to ensure a victory for the Yamaha Troy guys. Look at Fonseca tripling all the way through there. Travis trying to, but he's got Ramsey right in the way.
Travis Pastrana moving up to 3rd. So it's the two Yamaha Troys, 4 strokes, out in front with Pingree in 3rd and Pastrana in 4th. Then you got another KTM behind him in Sellers.
Look at Travis really trying hard to get around Pingree right now. And if he tries anything a little bit too hard, he's got Pingree's teammate Sellards back there to sneak in and steal the position. All those mistakes right there by Travis, that's just because he's in the pack and he senses that the leaders are getting away and he's a little bit anxious.
Travis Pastrana with that new #1 plate on, trying to work his way past Pingree. Pastrana last year did not win the title but won this race for the bragging rights as the best of the 125s. This year he comes into the race with the title.
He's really frustrated right now trying to get around Pingree. Nothing against Pingree, he's riding fantastic, but if you look at this season, he hasn't been able to match the speed of Travis or the results. Yet here he is, really impeding the progress of Travis trying to move up. Nothing wrong with that. It's a race, but you can tell that Travis is getting a little frustrated. His timing is a little bit off. He's not able to jump things he'd like to jump. He's losing time right now.
Pingree best finish was the opener of the 125 West, a 4th in the first Anaheim race.
There he goes. Crowd goes nuts.
The crowd is standing on their feet as Pastrana moves up a notch. No matter where he is on the track, people have their eyes on him, that's for sure. And here's Fonseca, the leader, and Ramsey starting to pull up on him, and number 1 is coming on strong, Pastrana.
Look at that, tapping that rear brake right there to lower the front end so he can time through there and jump those triples. That's the first lap he's been able to do it.
Fonseca has not had a very clean ride, even though he's out in front.
Now, he's had a few mistakes. Otherwise, I think he'd be pulling away a little bit more and pulling Ramsey with him. These guys ride together all the time. This must feel like during the week testing when these guys are out just trying to beat each other in lap times, push each other. They're on the same team, but they compete. Travis is gaining a little bit, and the crowd is sensing that it's going to be a three-way duel.
Ramsey, hippity-hopping with that 4-stroke. Travis having a little problem there. And that gave some running room for Fonseca out in front.
Now, the last time we were in this situation with Travis behind Ramsey, Ramsey had that wild ride in Detroit and held on. He was able to beat Travis. This is a different deal. Not a lot of pressure. There's no title on the line. If these guys make a mistake and they can't get up there and win, it doesn't matter. It's just money right now and bragging rights going into next season or next week's Outdoor National.
And you talk bragging rights, and that's important to Fonseca. Here's Travis Pastrana. He gets by Ramsey. All kinds of rubbing plastic on that move.
Ramsey made some mistakes. You see Travis looking over to make sure that Ramsey's still not on the inside to put a block pass right there. Travis goes wide. It's a good run at the whoops, made up a lot of time.
Take another look at the rough action as Pastrana had to move him away.
Well, Travis takes a good line right there. It's a little bit different timing than what he's been doing. He caught Ramsey off guard right there.
Really snuck in. There wasn't much room. Another look at another angle. Look at that.
There wasn't much room at all. I mean, he just threaded the needle right there between those tough blocks and Ramsey. And now he's chasing after this guy. So this is what we really wanted to see. Both #1 guys, they each won 5 races. I think it comes down to who makes the fewest mistakes and possibly the last 5 laps, these 2 lappers, who's the strongest and the least rattled by the nervousness of what's at stake here. It's not, like I said, for a championship, but it still means a lot. These guys want to beat each other bad.
You mentioned both riders with 5 wins. Well, both riders have made key mistakes throughout the year. For instance, at Atlanta, Pastrana's 14th place. Langston, his bike is running slow. He went down in the whoops.
I think he's going to pull off. He's rolling over the finish line jump. Now watch Fonseca. Triple, triple again, and then finally into the corner. He's only able to double right there. If Travis jumps it, he didn't. So he doesn't make up any time right there. This comes down to, like I said, the fewest mistakes. These guys got to be solid. He's got to make good decisions when he gets to the lap rider. If he gets, you hear these guys all the time, well, you know, I was fouled up a little bit there by a lap rider. That allowed the guy to catch me. Then I got nervous. You can't afford that right now. Not against a guy like Travis, who is dangerous. Not making up much time, though, Art. I thought he would close the gap. There you see the gap, almost the whole loop section. That's the way it's been. And Ramsey hasn't let Travis off the hook yet. He's trying to get back in this fight.
3.25 seconds behind. Travis Pastrana is behind Fonseca. Fonseca's really geared his whole season mentally and physically, I think, to the shootout rather than the title. Yes, the title was very, very important to Yamaha of Troy and to Ernesto Fonseca. But if you look at his conditioning program, he wanted that matchup with Pastrana.
Well, I actually know exactly what he's done coming into this race because his trainer, Todd Jacobs, is my best friend and also helped me get ready for the Ironman competition for the last few years. In fact, kind of encouraged me to do it in the first place. So I know he is fit. He's not expecting to go out there and run away from Travis. He's actually welcoming the idea that this would be a toe-to-toe battle all the way. He's prepared for that. That's the race you really want to win. I mean, think about the battle that I had with Rick Johnson back in 1986. They still talk about that.
Narrowing the gap a little bit, 3.06 seconds between Fonseca and Pastrana. Ramsey in 3rd, Sellers in 4th, Pingree in 5th, Payne in 6th, Preston in 7th, Johnson in 8th. Let's go to Robbie.
Grant Langston, unfortunately, had to pull off the track. What happened out there? They were telling you to ride easy, and you were working your way up.
Yeah, I mean, that's coming through pretty good. I didn't get the greatest of start, and I don't know, I just came in the whoops, and I was trying to make a pass because it's one of the easier places to pass if you get right. And towards the end of the whoops, so there's kind of a nose drop. I went over the bars.
Everything all right? You still have the outdoor series starting next weekend.
Yeah, I'm all right. It's just a bit unfortunate, but that's the way Supercross goes.
Congratulations on your win at Dallas. So I know you spoke about that. I wish you better luck tonight, though.
Thank you.
Fonseca through the whoops. Here comes Travis Pastrana trying to get around the lapper, but right behind him as well is Nathan Ramsey.
I was paying so much attention to the progress that Pastrana made. Watch the difference in lines. Fonseca goes way wide, Travis to the inside. Now, if Fonseca's going to go out there, he's got to triple all the way through the section to get that time back.
All 39,000 fans, I think, are on their feet. Most of them I can see anyway. They're loving this competition.
I was so busy looking at this battle. That's the second lap in a row. Travis hasn't done that triple, and look what's happened.
Ramsey picking up space.
He's back in there, and if he can stick a wheel in on Travis here and there and force Travis to have to take lines that aren't quite as fast to protect his position, then that lets Fonseca get a little room out front, not worry about all the pressure from behind. He can feel it right now.
Ramsey won the shootout in '99. He had to go to the last chance qualifier. 2 riders fell down before he actually made the main event. But luck was on his side. He later won the race. Pastrana in second place. Focus, Lee McCullough says to Travis Pastrana.
Well, it's getting down. We're about 3/4 of the way through this race. Fitness will play a major role. You see Travis makes a big mistake right there.
And tripling right over him is Ramsey. So now we've got the battle for second, Travis Pastrana.
And that's 3 laps in a row Travis doesn't jump that triple. That time I understand. The 2 laps before, I don't know why, and he's just giving it right now to Fonseca, who's been pretty steady out front. He's made his share of mistakes, but nothing big enough to lose the position. He may not be in the clear from his teammate. Ramsey wants this just as bad.
Another look and a costly mistake.
Travis working his way through this rhythm section right here. See Fonseca out front having no problem, but Travis just comes up a little bit short right there. He was leaned to the left, lost his balance. Luckily, he didn't swerve in front of Ramsey, who was committed right there. Watch Fonseca, see if he can. No, he makes a mistake. So he can't get the timing. Neither can Ramsey. Travis is jumping them all. Look at Travis sneak into the picture. Made up a lot of time.
Battle, I have a feeling, coming down for first place. We're on the 11th lap. 15 laps in our 125 Dave Coombs Senior Shootout.
Well, I'll tell you, if I'm Eric Kehoe, the team manager of this Yamaha Troy team, or Phil Alderson, I'm nervous. You don't want to let Pastrana sneak through there and steal these guys' thunder again.
And you don't want to put your teammate down. That's happened to Yamaha Troy before. It happened when Buckaloo, I think, was battling in the mix. Here's Ramsey. Oh, that was the teammate.
Yeah, that didn't look like team orders to me. That looked like, I don't care about team orders. I want this guy. A good move, real heads up.
Here comes Ramsey. Ramsey takes over the lead. Oh, what a gutsy move by Nathan Ramsey. He wants this one bad. Here comes Pastrana. Pastrana's going to assault now Fonseca.
Well, I'll tell you, this is all heart. Just sheer how bad he, look at Travis. He cased it hard. It looks like he rung his bell a little bit. There's no way he's going to get back in this fight now. There's not enough time left. He really rattled himself.
But which four-stroke now is going to take this victory? We still have a lot of laps to go.
I can just hear it now, can't you, Art? Just how much that 4-stroke has an advantage over the rest of the 125.
Oh, Fonseca having trouble in the whoops. Cuts behind the tough block by 4.
He's looking back, doesn't see Travis, and that may be a blessing for him. He didn't realize that Travis was out of the picture until he looked back right there. Now he can pressure-free go back and try to get this win from his teammate.
Tell me about Travis's problems now, David.
Well, he came up, I was looking at the front 2 riders, and watch Travis to the right. Pulls the front up really high, knowing that he didn't have enough distance. Boy, he hit hard. Now watch Fonseca. He's running pretty close to the edge of the track. So if you make a mistake, you have nowhere to go. Can't believe he saved that. Look at the flagger. Whoa!
Hello.
He almost got hit. That's balance to be able to save that. He's over there. He can't. There's big dirt clods and sand. It's really tough to read the traction over there. And now Ramsey really struggling through there. This whoop section's getting harder every lap, it seems like. And Fonseca goes down.
Fonseca down, and Pastrana moves into second place. So frustration now reigns, as he'll probably have to restart that 4-stroke.
Yeah, he will.
And it's not easy to restart. You got to have a full stroke kick on that sucker.
So now I thought Travis was out of this. This is the great thing about Supercross. You never know. All it takes is one mistake by Ramsey out front, and Travis can have a chance to win this thing after all the mistakes he's made.
Nathan Ramsey, despite not winning that 125 East, he's had a great season. 2 wins, Atlanta and Pontiac, 2 second places, a third, 2 fifth places. He's never been out of the top 5. Missed the championship by only 8 points. It just wasn't very spectacular because he had Travis Pastrana out in front of him. Win or lose, creating all kinds of excitement on the track. This has got to be a great feeling for Nathan Ramsey. His second 125 shootout victory. John Mitchell, his mechanic, is ecstatic, and so are the fans. Some of the fans, I think, are shocked. A champion did not win once again for the 2nd year in a row.
And Nathan has done this before.
Pastrana in 2nd place. Brock Sellers has moved up to 3rd. So the KTM will be on the podium. The 4-stroke winning 8 of the 16 races in 125 action this year.
Yeah, I think they might take a harder look at the rules now. It's not an easy bike to ride.
It's the 9th Yamaha Troy win. 6 career wins. Nathan Ramsey is on the podium. Let's go to Davey Combs.
Kind of a hectic scene down here, Nathan. Congratulations. Here, let's step back here in the middle. Nathan, I know that you've won this race before, but this time it's got to feel sweet. You beat both champions, Travis Pastrana and Ernesto Fonseca.
Yeah, it feels really great. You know, I mean, my heat race went okay. You know, I was a little bit bobbly, and then in the main, I just said, you got to be smooth and be smart. And Paggio from Oakley said, man, you just let the race come to you, you know. So that's what I was doing. I was just out there being patient. Those guys made a couple more mistakes than I did, and I took, you know, I reaped the benefits.
We watched Travis. He made some mistakes on the jumps, but Ernesto Fonseca, your teammate, seemed like he was right there with you, and the power, you guys were even.
Yeah, Ernie was riding really good. He got off to a really good start, you know, riding strong, and I was trying to keep up with him. I hit neutral once, and, you know, but through the whoops, you know, my Enzo suspension just kind of came through. Ernie's got the same thing, but maybe I just picked a better line, you know. My Dunlop tires were hooking up really good across through there.
Good ride, Nathan.
Thanks a lot. You know, I just want to thank God for keeping me safe, and all these fans out here that are watching, and everybody at home. I'm just pumped. My family, my little girl, everything's cool.
Let's go to Robbie.
All right.
Well, Travis, a great ride out there, man. You had everything going for you. You're working through the pack. What happened in that left-hand turn?
Just kind of washed out before the triple, but I mean, Nathan and Ernie were riding phenomenally. I was a little disappointed in my ride, but you know, hey, you know, it was a great race, and you know, Ernie, the whole Yamaha Troy team was doing great, but my Suzuki got me, Michelin got me out to a great start. I'd just like to thank everyone for tuning in out there.
I saw you. You're a little stunned when you come up here on the stage. You're not feeling 110 right now.
Try landing 60 mile an hour and going to a dead stop. No, I'm good. My suspension was working great. RG3 out there. So no, I just want to thank my grandma for watching. Everybody else, Jim, thank you guys.
Hey, this guy's hurt. Don't let him kid you out there, but I guarantee you having fun, Travis?
I will be. Yeah, thank you very much. And great ride to everybody.
He's always having fun.
And I'll tell you, you can't be having too much fun there, David Bailey, because he really whacked himself as Nathan Ramsey becomes the first 2-time winner of the Dave Coombs Sr. 125 shootout. Kevin Windham won it in 97. Ricky Carmichael beat John Dowd in 98. Ramsey took it in 99. Pastrana last year, and now Ramsey once again. As we take a look at the official results, Nathan Ramsey, Travis Pastrana, Brock Sellers, a hard-earned effort there for 3rd for Brock. Travis Preston moved all the way up to 4th. Michael Brown came from 10th to go to 5th and get into that top 5. Nick Way, Keith Johnson, Ernesto Fonseca, the disappointing 8th place finish. Greg Schnell, a 2-time winner last year, also on that list, along with Pingree, Gosler, Marley, Yeho, Olhoff. As we go down to the rest, Grant Langston, disappointed having to pull out after crashing in the whoop section.
You just never know. It just looked like Fonseca, with the way he's ridden this year, being the champion, having the lead like that with his teammate back there, holding things up for Pastrana, that he'd be able to walk away with it, but they reeled him in. He got nervous, perhaps. Maybe he pumped up, made a mistake, went down. Then Travis made his mistakes, and you know, I said the guy that was going to be able to hold that pace late and make the fewest mistakes should come out on top. And boy, everybody overlooked Ramsey, that's for sure. He came out Real good. And, you know, Travis, did you see, as soon as he pulled off the track, everybody, his mechanic, they all were looking at him like, are you okay? That was a hard landing, and you can tell from his mannerisms with Robbie there that he's not all together.
Let's go trackside to Robbie Floyd.
Well, I'm down here with Brock Sellers. Brock, congratulations, third plate finish. You had that, you know, off season or during the season arm surgery trying to get rid of that arm pump. You said it was a mistake at the time, but evidently it paid off dividends tonight.
Yeah, I had it done at the beginning of the season with not much time to get ready, and I got too anxious, started riding too soon, and ended up going bad for me. I got a lot of scar tissue. So I went back to my buddy Dr. Berg, and he redid my arms and did a great job. I don't get, you know, any arm pump right now, and I feel great out there. It's just sad that I had to waste most of the season, you know.
You had a great ride last year, man. A lot of fans were rooting for you, and it's good to see you back up here in the top 3.
Yeah, it feels great. My Red Bull KTM Thor bike was working awesome out there. Michelin tires got me out of the gate. You know, all my sponsors out there that helped me out, my family for supporting me, and, you know, just hanging out and hoping that I recover from this arm pump thing, and, you know, I am. And I've only got to ride once since I had the surgery on Supercross, and I came straight to here, and, you know, to get a third is pretty spectacular, I think, for not ever, you know, practicing in a long time.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Well, Ramsey surprises in the 125s. Will someone stop the streak of Ricky Carmichael as Jeremy McGrath and Ricky Carmichael right next to each other wait their turn at the starting gate? Ricky Carmichael has been hot. He's got 12 straight. He's looking to tie McGrath's 13 in a row. Las Vegas has been a racetrack where every winner in Las Vegas, with the exception of Jeremy McGrath, has won either their first Supercross or their last of their career. This is an amazing fact to me. Jeff Matazevich winning the very first 250 race here in 1990. That was his first win. Mike LaRocco's first win. Bale and Stanton. Bale won 16 Supercross races, Stanton 17, and it was their last win in their career, David Bailey, here at Las Vegas. We've already mentioned with Jeff Emig, his first win here, and Doug Henry won the first 250 race with a 4-stroke, but it was his final Supercross win of his career. Now, Jeremy McGrath does have one first place here in Las Vegas. His very first professional win was on a 125. Well, not on a Honda, not on a Yamaha, but a Kawasaki.
He's piled up a few victories since then, and you know, after what we just saw in the 125, you never know. I mean, the favorite coming in here has got to be Ricky Carmichael, but his heat race was a second slower than Jeremy's. He was a 10th of a second slower on the fastest lap. That doesn't mean that much, but it's been the other way around all year coming into this race. So Jeremy is obviously ready, and he doesn't want to lose that record right now to Carmichael.
That's Nathan's lovely wife as she's looking up there on the victory podium. Let's check out the Honda flashback.
For our Honda flashback, last year, Jeremy McGrath not only prevented David Villeman from winning the $500,000 Vans Triple Crown in Las Vegas, but he darn near walked off with a $25,000 consolation prize. Villeman, winning the first 2 rounds in Phoenix and Minneapolis, needed to win in Vegas to gain motorcycle racing's biggest one-time payoff. But he got a bad start out of the gate. Kevin Windham captured the whole shot and gained as much as a 5-second lead on McGrath. Villeman got by Ricky Carmichael and Sebastian Tortelli, but Mike LaRocco was another story. For 13 laps, they battled. Villeman tried the outside. LaRocco rode him off. Villeman would finish 4th. Out front, McGrath won race number 10 of the season, but Villeman edged him out by 1 point for the Vans Triple Crown consolation prize of $25 grand. McGrath would finish the season capturing the title by 35 points, the smallest margin of victory in 7 Supercross championships. That's this week's Honda Flashback.
And as the riders take their sight lap here on this track in Las Vegas, Nevada, that 25 grand is still up for grabs this year. We've got McGrath winning the first round of the Vans Triple Crown, and RC, Ricky Carmichael, taking the second round.
Well, there's no more 500 grand. It's something to think about, though. Remember last year, Villeman coming into this thing. Everybody we talked to, especially Windham, who Villeman had put a pretty aggressive pass on the week before in Chicago. Everybody, especially LaRocco, was trying to keep Villeman there. Oh, that's Ferry. trying to keep him from getting that $500,000. And I think there's going to be some guys that really would like to stop Carmichael from getting that streak, especially McGrath. But, you know, he's hogged all the race wins this year. Everybody's wanting to get in there. I'm impressed with Villeman. He could do it. Wyndham could do it. There's quite a few guys, and you can see how important the start is.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup and the riders that made it to the main event. Of course, Jeremy McGrath. He had the best qualifying time, better than Ricky Carmichael's. Mike LaRocco, Stefan Roncada. His fellow Frenchman, David Villeman, also with an impressive ride in qualifying. Kevin Wyndham, Sebastian Tortelli will have our helmet cam on throughout the race. Heath Voss on that 4-stroke. Ferry, Byrne, McCormick, Kyle Lewis, Gonzalez, Waugh out of Canada, Pavolny, Michael Craig, Hoffmaster, Hodges, Huffman, and Jason Thomas. That's quite a lineup for the final race of the EA Sports Supercross season.
All right, we're in Vegas. Okay, I'll put $100 on Voss for the whole shot. He was the first one out here for this warm-up lap. He was the first guy out. He's been the first one on the track every time it's their turn to ride. Why should the main event be any different? But I'll tell you what, the other guy on a 4-stroke in this race on the Yamaha YZ426 is Tim Ferry, who put in a great ride last week. I wouldn't be surprised if he put in another one.
It was the U.S. Open last year that many thought started this trip for Ricky Carmichael, number 4, into his great season in the 250s in Supercross. And that MGM Grand Garden Arena is going to be filled with these riders again October 12th, 13th, and 14th for the U.S. Open coming up again this year. Jeremy McGrath looking down. Skip Norfolk whispering into his ear. That's Chad Watts, the tuner for Ricky Carmichael.
Look at the focus. He doesn't even look at Jeremy. He's looking straight ahead. These guys have these little clutch adjusters. They'll reach forward. I saw Ricky just fiddling with his. They like to make sure that that clutch play is gone. You want it tight. As the clutch heats up during the race, they reach back and tighten it up a little bit more so the clutch never goes away during the main event. And there's, of course, Skip telling Jeremy what needs to be done.
Pats him on the back. Skip Norfolk.
Pretty sure Jeremy already knows, but Skip and Jeremy were a great team all the years when they put together all their wins. Look at Ricky. He's going to need a bigger helmet for all those skull and crossbone race wins.
He won the 125 here in '98. Had an awful experience in '99 where he came in 19th. He crashed and then got hit going back to his bike. Remember that, dude?
No, I don't even like to think about it. He just was in such a hurry to get back to the bike, thought he was still in contention, didn't realize guys were still coming. That's an ugly highlight from Ricky's growing pains in this 250 class. But how's this? Perfect. The two guys that are really the story here tonight next to each other.
Cam McGrath stopped the win streak of Ricky Carmichael as we get set for a main event from Las Vegas, and we're off. McGrath, Carmichael battling it out, but it's Ferry and Voss in the 4 strokes with McGrath in second place. Villeman is in 4th behind Ferry, LaRocco, and then buried is Ricky Carmichael.
What an opportunity for McGrath right here to get around Voss, if he can do it, before Ferry gets around him, with Carmichael back in the pack.
Here comes McGrath to the inside, but the 4-stroke gets by. Ferry is right on his tail.
Well, they're coming to the section where Voss has really struggled. Jeremy knows it, Voss knows it, Ferry knows it. It's a drag race to the woods.
Here comes McGrath to take the lead in the woods section. Ferry on the left. And it's the 2 Yamahas battling the 4-stroke. Look at Ferry. Ferry bar to bar with McGrath. We've got some good riders in front of Carmichael, who's moved up to 4th.
Unbelievable first lap for Carmichael. He's picked off about 4 guys to get in this position to stay in contact with these guys. He needs to get through Voss. Try not to lose any time to Jeremy and Ferry right here. Fitness will play a part. This is 20 laps. It's hot.
LaRocco went down, and I think we have a shot of that as LaRocco is back up and running, however. Take a look.
That's Carmichael blitzing through the woods. Watch LaRocco over to the right of the screen. He goes into the corner.
Ouch.
Sets the front wheel down a little early. Villeman just does a head plant. Those guys are slow to get up. Looks like Villeman's still over there now. There he is.
Villeman's still down as Dr. Bodner is right on the scene. He's the emergency doctor that goes the entire route of Supercross races all through the season. Jeremy McGrath is our leader with Ferry in second place. Carmichael now has moved up to 3rd with Voss in 4th, Roncada in 5th.
Boy, look at Ricky tripling all the way through that section, all the way into the corner. He's making up a little bit of time on these guys. If it's anything like last week, and the fitness that played a major role towards the end of that race and the altitude, Ricky can go the distance. He doesn't get anything but faster. You know he wants it, but he's got to get through Ferry, who is hot right now, and McGrath, who has won here the last 3 years in a row. He likes this place.
Let's go to Robbie.
Hey, I'm watching Chad Watts on his pit board out there. He's saying, don't wait, make your move right now. He's saying, Ricky, don't sit around and wait for something to happen. You make it happen right now.
He's done all year. There's no patience in the way he rides. You think, well, he should just probably settle in here. That's what most people do, and it lets the guy in front of us settle into a good pace.
He also had McGrath's time on the board, on the pit board, as well as Ricky's.
These guys got a good plan over there. They probably go over what needs to be put on that board, but most of the time the mechanic just makes it up as the race unfolds. But they have a plan, and they stick to it. It's worked so far. Look at the ground he's making up.
Here comes Carmichael. Carmichael's trying to make a move on Ferry already. Carmichael, who's not leading yet, but he's led 205 of the 240 laps of the season during his win streak. Ferry looking back to see where Carmichael is. We're only 3 or 4 laps into this race, and we've got a 3-way battle for first. In the whoops, Carmichael, can he make the move on Ferry? No.
Last week it was actually Ferry who was a little stronger through the whoops than Carmichael.
Ferry trying to take the line away, but here comes Carmichael to the inside. He gets a squeeze from the 15 on the 4-stroke, and Ferry has to go back to 3rd as Carmichael has taken over 2nd place. They're on the 5th lap.
You think Carmichael's messing around?
Nope.
That's what it takes. That's how bad he wants to win. He doesn't care what Ferry thinks of that pass. It's done, and he's got McGrath next, and he's closing.
Ricky Carmichael in 2nd place.
Look at that. Perfect. Carmichael just slides through that corner, back on the power, not really squared away. It doesn't matter. He's on the power. He's got to be to catch Jeremy. Wheelies all the way off the backside of that jump through the whoops. The guy's been getting away with so much with this aggressive style that now it's just become the norm. And Jeremy has a tough time trying to ride like that. He's got to just ride as smooth as he can, make as few mistakes as he can, and that's the best he can do. And if it's not good enough, well, Carmichael's just better. He's got to accept that. I don't think he wants to here.
Only twice before in Supercross history has a rider landed on the podium every race. Well, Ricky Carmichael has been on a podium every race so far.
This is where Ricky's got to be patient, Art. You know, it was such a struggle to get to the 2nd place position. You know, go up in the air right there, take a deep breath. Try to relax, get that heart rate back down a little bit, and then go after Jeremy.
Relax, fans. We still have 15 laps to go.
Oh.
Slides out. The crowd comes alive. Ricky Carmichael takes advantage of it.
That's the kind of pressure Jeremy's been putting on everybody else for years. He just forces you to worry. Next thing you know, you're making uncharacteristic mistakes, unforced errors, killing everyone.
49.2.
Watch Jeremy. He gets into the corner. He knows that Ricky's coming. He tries to get on the gas a little bit early.
And Ricky just patch here in Las Vegas, boy, you can slip and slide on it.
Nothing Jeremy could do about that. He wanted to try to come back in that next left, get to the inside. Ricky had it covered. Now Jeremy has a great opportunity to study Ricky. Put the pressure on him.
Already, though, Carmichael was starting to pull a lead. As they exit the whoops. Last lap, 52.1 to 49.7 for Carmichael.
It's just whatever Carmichael needs to do to get in the lead is what he does. Reminds me of that movie, The Natural, when Robert Duvall was talking about Redford going, you know, whatever he wants to do, he does. You know, and that's what Carmichael's been able to do this year. He's going, okay, I need to turn the fastest lap of the night, maybe 2 or 3, in order to get in this lead or pull away and just break everyone's spirit. And he does it. It's hard to do. Jeremy is going as fast as he can. Probably the greatest Supercross rider of all time, and he cannot match the pace.
Ricky Carmichael putting the bar up a little higher. Jeremy McGrath, without Ricky Carmichael, would have won this championship easily. But Ricky dared to take a run at the hero, the sports icon this year, and come away victorious.
Picked up about another half a second that time. Jeremy's still there, though. He's not too far away. He's got It's close enough. He's really picked it up from last week.
Let's go on board with a great battle here for 5th.
Well, you want to see that new 4-stroke Honda? There it is.
You can hear it.
We're looking at this from Tortelli. This is down the long straightaway. Triple that. Should triple again. Can't quite do it, but Boss does.
Listen to that engine. Tortelli's bike, but we're hearing Boss's bike.
Yeah, that thing's pretty intimidating, so you can imagine what it would be like for Jeremy if he starts to make any mistakes later in the race. He'll have Ferry coming up. Sounds the same.
The Mummy returns, takes advantage, and moves ahead of Boss. So Tortelli moves into 5th place. Rancada's in 4th, by the way, and that's number 13's next target.
Look at this straightaway right here. Got to double up to that spot, triple. Triple again into the corner. Comes up short a little bit right there. Coming up a little short there is better than not doing it.
Boy, it's amazing the suspensions when you see that from the helmet cam. Davey Combs?
Well, I tell you what, we're watching Sebastian Tortelli, and guys, this is probably the best Sebastian has ridden in the EA Sports Supercross Series in the last couple months. He bombed out of both of the ABC races. He was not able to even finish last week. Now Sebastian's trying to get ready for the Outdoor Nationals. The streak that no one's talking about is this one. No French rider was able to make the podium in the year 2001 Supercross, and that might be a bigger surprise than Ricky Carmichael.
Especially in the 125s, for the first time in Supercross history, we had an all-foreign podium. South Africa, France, and Costa Rica.
Look at Ricky making mistakes. A moment ago, he made even a bigger one, allowed Jeremy to close the gap. Jeremy had a faster lap.
I don't think the fans have sat down throughout the entire race. Take another look.
Through the whoop. Gets a little bit crooked right there. It's so hard to regain your momentum right there, and it just is what McGrath needed to see. You see McGrath just getting into the corner right there like a lap rider. He needs a little bit of a break right now. He has closed the gap. The crowd's consented right now. Look at Rick. Look at Jeremy. Jeremy hasn't been able to run Ricky down all year. He's inching up a little bit right now. You see Ricky looking. The last 2 laps for Jeremy have been a couple of tenths a second faster. That's going to bother Ricky. He's not used to having somebody run him down. That could force him to ride a little bit over the zone that doesn't look comfortable to me, but apparently it's comfortable to him.
Everybody believes that you got to pressure him to make a mistake, but most of his mistakes have been made in qualifying practices. Heath Boss is out of the race. The Honda 4-stroke is going back to the pits.
Hard to say why. It looks like Heath was doing fine. Started good. I think that bike probably needed a little bit more time on a Supercross track to get things dialed in. This thing's pretty fast outdoors. We'll find that out next week.
So Carmichael successfully knifing through the lappers. Huffman, Papoli, as Jeremy McGrath also making his way. That's Papoli on the Honda.
Good Ricky, letting that back end dance around. That last lap, a few tenths faster than Jeremy, so the time he lost with the mistake through the whoop, here they go again. He made back up. That'll discourage Jeremy. Look at Ricky just hanging on to that thing, wide open through that corner. He wants this so bad. He doesn't want to let Jeremy get any kind of confidence going. If he starts to lose time, and Jeremy can sense that, the momentum will shift a little bit. Ricky wants to immediately reestablish the big gap he had before the mistake. Try to crush Jeremy.
Cam McGrath picked up 3.0 seconds in 7 laps.
Oh, it can happen in a corner, through the whoops. A bad decision with a lap rider, a little bit of bad luck.
I tell you, I got to hand it to McGrath. He's pouring it on. He's not giving up.
This is the best he's ridden in the last 5 or 6 rounds.
I think it's the best he's ridden since Houston when he took the 2nd place there. There's McGrath through the woods.
Looks good. That was a little faster through there than Ricky. See that flag waving? That's let the lap riders know. Get out of the way. Leaders are coming. 50.7. The exact same lap time as Carmichael. And Carmichael makes another mistake.
6 laps to go. Here comes Jeremy McGrath, and the crowd once again onto their feet. Incredible, 39,000 fans are going bananas as McGrath has got a shot down at Ricky Carmichael. It's going to be up to McGrath. It looks like if he's going to be able to stop the streak of Ricky Carmichael, stopping from tying his own marks.
Right when Jeremy had an opportunity to get close, he kind of blew the section of the approach to the triple there. Gave some time back. And look at Ricky, just pinning it through the roof. He wants it so bad. He doesn't want Jeremy to get even close enough to where there's hope.
He's already won the title. 5 laps. Stay tough, says Chad Watts.
That's all that's left on the season. 5 more laps. Less than 5 minutes. Dig.
His contract is up in Kawasaki.
Jeremy cases that right there. You can see him actually when he went between the last two, kind of little motion there with his head going, man, he's right there. He knows he gave up about a half a second.
It's rumored in about a week we'll know about the Honda contract offer, whether RC has signed it or not. Rumored to be between $1 and $2 million a year for 3 years. And a lot on the line. Jeremy McGrath.
Oh, he made up a lot of time to the roof that lap. See Brooks over there, team manager for Jeremy's team. Come on, you can do it. Pressure this guy. Make him worry about you. Make another mistake. I don't know if Ricky's going to make any more. I think he's given Jeremy all the opportunities he's going to get.
McGrath, 6/100ths of a second slower than Carmichael on that last lap.
Looks like Jeremy's making a little bit too sharp of a pivot in most of these bowl corners where Ricky's kind of swinging all the way around to the outside, maintaining his momentum. Then when he gets on the power, he's already got a little bit more momentum. So it's not as radical of an acceleration change, so he doesn't get as much wheel spin. See, Jeremy tries to cut it real tight. Ricky rolls around there in a bigger arc. He's maintaining more momentum.
Boy, look at that. McGrath is not giving up at all. He's giving it his all through the loops.
Boy, you can see this right there. He'll be happy with the way he's ridden, but he's going to be bummed to see that record tied. Ricky gets through that section clean. So does McGrath this time. No lappers in sight. The next person they catch on the racetrack is at the end of that straightaway we just saw. It's LaRocca.
Man against man now for the record. Ricky Carmichael has had one more race that Jeremy McGrath had when he set the record.
Finally, through that corner, approaches the triple. Jeremy gets through there good. And it was Ricky that wobbled a little bit. And Jeremy's got that roof section dialed. If he can get close enough, that could be a drag race through there.
2 laps he puts on the pit board.
That was a 50-second, pretty much 50-second flat. Jeremy 49.9. These guys are pushing as hard as they can. They're not even tired. What's that mean? It doesn't matter. Just give it everything you've got.
Jeremy's letting it all hang out now. Carmichael cannot afford a mistake.
He is riding absolutely as hard as he can go. 2 laps from now, less than 2 minutes. Jeremy's season is over. He can't afford to leave anything out here. He's got to give it all. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go down somewhere in the corner, just trying to get on the gas a little early, giving it everything he's got.
Look at Carmichael go through those moves.
Jeremy's got nothing to lose here.
White flag, final lap now. Ricky Carmichael on the verge of tying Jeremy McGrath's consecutive win streak, as well as total wins during a season. The fans are on their feet cheering.
They both get through that section with fastest rhythm.
A historic season, a historic evening.
Boy, the pressure Carmichael must feel right now. So much at stake for him. He wants this so bad, Arctic. A second, oh, look at the front wheel, almost washing out. If he was second right here, he'd want to put his fist through the wall. So would Jeremy, he wants it just as bad.
Carmichael looking for his 15th win. his 14th on the season. The checkers for Ricky Carmichael. History is tied. He ties McGrath's seasonal records, 13 straight, 14 total wins.
Look at these guys join. Total respect.
McGrath has to be proud of his appearance and performance as Ricky Carmichael. You know, he's a happy young man. Tying a record I thought wouldn't be broken for 10, 15 years.
No, and just to go ahead and fast forward a little bit, that 72 win mark, the way Ricky's riding, he'll climb pretty close to that here in a few years. So
the one thing is longevity, endurance over a period of time. 72 wins for McGrath in what, 9-10 seasons.
Yeah, staying healthy is a big key. And when you look at the way Ricky rides, you know, you got to cross your fingers a little bit more than the way that Jeremy was riding during all those championships. But he's proved us wrong. Every week I keep seeing a new challenge. Last week, crashing in practice, had a headache. Thought, okay, here's an opportunity for somebody to slip in there and stop this streak. And he still came back and fought through. He didn't just get the whole shot. He had to fight for it. Here again.
You know, in the NBA, they talk about leaving the game on the court. Well, these guys left it on the track.
Oh, they did. Jeremy's got to know that he gave it everything he had. He had all the opportunities. And, you know, it's just Carmichael's year. Everything just seems to fall his way. Not that he hasn't earned it, but, you know, when you get that rhythm. I mean, Jeremy's talked to us so many times because I know how that is and how that feels. And I think it's a little bit easier for him to accept knowing that, well, when you get on a roll like that, it just seems to do no wrong.
It took almost a religious effort from Ricky Carmichael to get where he's got right now because the training, the regimen he had to go through every week. And McGrath, look at the fans standing for Jeremy McGrath. A great tribute to a great former champion.
He's taking a little extra time here, appreciating all the support he's had over the years. I mean, he's probably surprised that we've all been so pro-Jeremy over all these years. I mean, all the times he's won, yet we still just kind of wanted to see him win another one instead of trying to root for somebody to come up and beat him. Finally, somebody has.
Ricky's with Davey Combs.
Ricky, they say that the sports record is an athlete's immortality, and right now you share the biggest record in Supercross with Jeremy McGrath. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Davey. I tell you, the Kawasaki was running awesome tonight. Can't say enough for the bike. It was working good for me, and Jeremy kind of cut over on me on the start and messed things all up for me, but I seen him out front and started putting my head down and got through the first couple laps with everyone going every which way, and had to work for that one, and Michael Byrne got in front of me and messed my rhythm all up, and he was all on my, Jeremy was all on my tail, and it was a tough one.
What about McGrath? He certainly gave you a great race.
Definitely, Jeremy's a true champion, and but I came out on top that time. It was a fun race, and would have been a little funner if I wouldn't have had some chaos with the lappers, but that's the way it goes. Got to thank Chevy Trucks, Kawasaki, Aeronautique, Schwinn, Oakley, Fox, you know, my mom and dad, my trainer, Eldon Baker, mechanic Chad Watts for an awesome, awesome season, and Mobile Vision.
Ricky, congratulations on an amazing season in the new champ.
All right, thanks. Also, Gatorade, THQ, Jack Pacific. Thank you.
Let's go back upstairs.
That's as exhausted as I've seen Ricky Carmichael after a race as Jeremy McGrath pushed him to maybe the limit here tonight. McGrath, though, failed to make that mistake that Carmichael failed to make the mistake that McGrath was hoping for in putting that pressure on. McGrath in second to Ricky Carmichael, who ties Jeremy's records. Tim Ferry, a hard-earned third place. Roncalli in fourth. Tortelli up to fifth, his second best performance of the year. Maybe ought to wear that helmet cam more often. Wyndham in sixth. Mike LaRocco, after going down, came back in seventh place. Byrne, Lewis, and Waugh round out the top 10. Let's go down to Robbie.
I'm down here with Jeremy McGrath. Jeremy, it looked like the perfect scenario. You had a great start. You shut the door big time, and you're out in front.
Yeah, I mean, my Mazda Yamaha put me right out in front, and that's what I was looking to do. I got to thank Yamaha, you know, and Mazda Yamaha. We made some big changes to the bike this week, and it was definitely a lot better. And got to thank those guys, Skip and Larry and Brian, for putting in some hard work. And, you know, we got that bike right out in front, and I think I had a little bit of bad line in the whoops and was making some mistakes there. And RC got on me. I slid out before the finish line, and he got right around me, and then he almost gave it back to me over here.
Even though when you were out in front, Skip was trying to get you to run 48 lap times. Chad, on the other hand, was wanting Ricky to run 49s out there. Was everybody almost asking a little bit too much of you tonight?
Well, you know, we're kind of trying to take it in stepping stones. The last few races have been kind of bad for me and been struggling a lot. You know, I had to take it in baby steps. Of course, my goal was to win tonight and put the bike on the top of the podium and at least keep Ricky from that, you know, tying my record. But, you know, I'm really happy with my ride tonight. I wasn't far behind him at the finish line. I think with that one little mistake, had it been a little bit tighter race.
Congratulations, Jeremy, on second place. You're still the king in my book. Down to Davey.
Back over here with Tim Ferry. Tim, these have been the 2 best weeks of your 250 Supercross career. Another podium finish and a tough one at that.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty hot here in Vegas, and, you know, I got that whole shot award. You know, the Yamaha 426 is, you know, like you said, it's good on the hard, slick tracks, and they were good tonight. You know, I didn't quite have the speed that I did last weekend, and, you know, I kind of knew that I just had to, you know, settle to my pace that I could comfortably ride, you know, not make any mistakes.
You have to be satisfied by ending the season like this. I mean, earlier in the year, it seemed like you're having some problems with some starts, some bad luck, but now you rounded out. You're on the podium twice.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of top 5s, and you know, my goal coming into the season was to finish top 5 every weekend and get on the podium as many times as I could. And you know, it's pretty cool the last couple races getting on the podium. I'm totally pumped. You know, I got to give all the credit to Yamaha, my mechanic BK. Everybody's worked really hard this off season, and got to thank to my sponsors: Fly Helmets, Fox Gear, Smith Goggles, Garnet Boots, Etney Shoes. Like my mom and dad are out there, my brother, my sister. They're watching on pay-per-view, and I say to all my friends and the Deans at home.
Good job, Tim.
Thanks a lot.
Boy, what a great way to finish the season as we look at downtown Las Vegas this evening, checking out the final points page of the season. Carmichael by 64 over McGrath. Rocco nailing down third once again. Wyndham moving in front of Lusk up to 4th place, with Lusk rounding out the top 5. Ferry hanging in 6th. Villeman coming back to place 7th in the points. What a courageous effort really for Dave Villeman, and we hope he's okay after a bad crash here this evening. Byrne, the top privateer, in 9th place in the top 10. Let's go back to Robbie Floyd.
I'm down here with the very, very happy man, Chad Watts. Hey, Chad, I think he's trying to help you out. You don't have to change number plates hardly at all. You throw that number 1 on next year, and you can keep it.
Yeah, it would be, but actually we're going to run number 4. But that's been good luck to us, so by our numbering system, we can keep running, so we're going to roll with that.
Oh, man, that's kind of weird. Everybody else says, hey, you're champion, you need to be number 1. You're trying to set the trend, huh?
Not necessarily. I mean, by act of nature and good luck with this number, we've had good success. So we're just going to, like I say, stay with it and see if it's true.
What's it been like during the week with Ricky out there? Has he been nervous? Any different? Could you tell?
Well, actually, I was out preparing stuff for this week, and he was testing outdoor stuff. But he was low-key. I mean, the pressure, 90% was off when he won the championship. And then this record came upon us, and if something that happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. And as far as him, he was as mellow as could be.
Hey, your name goes in the record books as the tuner. Congratulations. Down to Davey.
Thanks, Robbie. I'm with Skip Norfolk. And Skip, Ricky Carmichael's mechanic just said that they're not going to use that number 1 plate. They're going to leave it with you guys.
I wouldn't do that. I'd be bolting that thing on if I was them. But no, Ricky had a great season. Those guys leaped the pace up. And we got our work cut out, but we're going to start tomorrow morning. So
when you came back this year, it was after a long hiatus. You had won the 4 championships with Jeremy from 93 to 96. Came back, maybe that was going to be a shot in a different direction. Are you satisfied with the way the year came out? I mean, were you glad to be back in the mechanics area?
No, I really enjoyed being back. I mean, ultimately finished in 2nd. We did have a good season, but it could have been a little bit better. And, I mean, our goal was to win the championship, and we came up a little bit short. We're definitely motivated, and we're going to get to work early, go out, and it's on loan, hopefully.
Are we going to see you back behind a desk at No Fear, or are we going to see you back spinning the wrenches with Jeremy in 2002?
No, we'll be back in 2002 spinning wrenches.
It looks like that's where he wants to be with that smile. Bar-to-bar action in qualifying tonight. David Bailey, surprise in the Dave Coombs Sr. East-West 125 shootout with a hard-working Nathan Ramsey winning that one. Not the champions, Ernesto Fonseca and Travis Pastrana. And then Ricky Carmichael tying Jeremy McGrath's total win record of 14 in a season and 13 straight.
Well, you know, in the shootout, it's crazy when you look at the type of racing, the kind of mistakes and the chances these guys are taking, and just the way it all plays out when there's not a championship on the line. You know, it's just all or nothing. And I mean, you saw Langston had problems. He just pulls off the racetrack. If there was any other race, you know, he's got to finish. And I hope Travis is okay. He looked like he landed pretty hard. He's disappointed, but you know, he beat the other champion. So I'm sure probably the guy that's most disappointed of all is Fonseca, going, man, I had it. And good job to Nathan. And then in the 250. Art, you know, I keep trying to dream up ways that challenges for Carmichael each week. You know, he had a little bit of a cold one week. He crashed in the heat race, had to go to the semi. I kept looking at weaknesses, and whatever happened to the guy, he just bounced back in the main event and got the job done. And to see him standing there next to McGrath, holding up the trophy, it's just unbelievable. It wasn't long ago that I saw this kid just a little bit overweight, kind of doing the wrong things out the Kawasaki track. He wasn't even going through the whoops. The intensity wasn't enough, and he's just sitting there with this big sandwich going, man, I want to win so bad. And I'm thinking about, well, you're going to have to change some things, bud, and he did. And I'm glad to see all that work pay off.
It started out an amazingly tight season, with McGrath looking like the McGrath of old in the race, the first race, and Carmichael coming back, winning the second. McGrath, the third winner, back to Ricky, back and forth, but it was Anaheim 3 that we really saw the icing on the cake, really, for Ricky Carmichael as he came back from a 9th place start and won that race, and then just shot from there into the championship. The champagne ceremony underway. Let's go back to Robbie Floyd, who likes to get in those sort of things.
Oh, yeah, I'm not afraid out there, Art. I'm here with Johnny O'Mara. Johnny, I think a lot of credit has to go to you as well. I mean, you're his mentor. You're the guy that said, Ricky, if you want to win this thing, you've got to sit down. You've got to train. Maybe not like you did, do your own stuff. But, man, I think that is the biggest factor. Like David was talking about, he used to be a little chunky. This ain't the same old Ricky Carmichael.
No, it's not. He's definitely came a long ways. You know, he's been successful in everything he's ever done. But there was a crossroads here actually a few years ago when he did jump on the 250, and something we needed to address. And here we are tonight, finishing the series with the championship. But it's something that we addressed early on, like I say, 3 years ago, for him to achieve this 250 Supercross championship.
Where do you see him going now? You know him probably better than anyone. I want a prediction. I want to put you on the spot, Johnny. Come on now.
It's unreal. It's really scary to even think about. I mean, Ricky can get better. I know it's hard to maybe to say that or from what everyone sees, but he's just scratching the surface. It's amazing. I know what he puts in. I know what the future, you know, what his game plan is, and he's just going to get better and better.
Well, David, I'm going to throw it back to you, and I know you know how hard Johnny trained when he was battling with you out there, and I think a little bit of that rubbed off on RC.
Yeah, I know what Johnny's capable of, and you know, I'm just kicking myself up here for not bringing Johnny into the picture a little sooner, but he is very instrumental in the development of Carmichael, and what really made the difference in Ricky is looking at the training aspect and going, okay, I can't beat Jeremy McGrath on equipment. He's got the same equipment I have. Even though it's a different bike, it's pretty close. I can't beat him on just wanting it more. I can't beat him on riding talent. I've got to beat him with the physical side, and he saw a weakness in Jeremy. Jeremy for years was able to just rely on this incredible skill and get the job done, and Ricky's like, let me cover all these bases and throw in this incredible toughness. He changed his body, and that really, I think, made his competitors nervous. They're looking over at abs that, you know, people are washing clothes on Ricky's stomach now. You know, there used to be rolls, and it really intimidated everyone, and it gave him the resolve whenever he needed a dig to come up with the win, and Johnny is a big part of that.
Well, it's good reason this season that we've just been through to register now at paysupercross.com to have the opportunity to buy tickets for next season's Supercross season. Tickets go on sale August 20th. Paysupercross.com for more information. My question right now, David, is McGrath coming back. Now, he did, after riding the Suzuki and having a 2-win year, only losing to Jeff Emig by 15 points that year. But he came back the next year and put 3 winning seasons together. Does he have it in him to come back next year?
I think the potential is there, but he's really got to take a serious look and kind of fast forward and, you know, 3 or 4 races into the series, and if things aren't going that well or like he hopes, you know, is he willing to ride out the rest of the season and put his legacy on the line like that? Because right now, you know, look at he has the biggest line in the pits still, even though Ricky's had all this success. And if he comes out next year and gets beat again, you know, he's putting a lot on the line, but, you know, anything is possible. He's a little older than Ricky, and if Ricky changes to another team, you know, that's going to be a big adjustment. So he'd be ripe for to overtake next season. Jeremy knows what it takes. He just got a little caught off guard, and once he realized that, you know, Ricky was for real, it was really difficult to just step it up at that point. It was kind of too late. I think he knew that. Skip knew it. Brooks knew it. And those guys are real serious. I mean, when Skip says tomorrow morning we're going to go to work and figure out what it takes to win next year, they will. But Jeremy's going to have to shed some weight. I'm not saying he's overweight now, but if you take equal talent, equal desire, equal motorcycles, and one guy weighs 30 pounds less, well, you know, after 16 races, that guy's going to get the nod.
Two veteran observers of Supercross had a lot of work to do tonight down on the floor of the stadium. I'm talking about the stadium announcers, Jamie Little and Terry Boyd.
Thanks, sir. What a night it was. First of all, let's talk about the 125 East-West shootout, Terry. Everything was going on out there. The KTM guys are right up front, going down, half of them coming up. Brock Sellers ends up on the podium. Travis Pastrana hitting his head pretty good on his bars.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Travis came out. He didn't look very good in practice, the first heat of practice and the second round of practice as well. And I think it was the pressure, man. And he's normally a pressure player. He's the guy you want at the free throw line. And the bottom line is tonight he just kept trying to do that triple, and the triple wasn't working for him tonight.
You're right, and we kept talking about that. Yet I was noticing other 125s were clearing the triple. So maybe he just couldn't get his rhythm together over there, because I was going to mention it, but right when I did, that's when he cased it and he hit his head on his bars and his head was kind of bobbing around, and then he came right back the next time and tripled it.
Well, you know, it was one of those weird nights. It's always weird here in Vegas. You get the heat, you get the wind, you get the dust. It started off a little bit wet, and you know, Travis is still a kid. We forgot, man. He's only 17 years old. This is a lot of weight to bear on your shoulders at that age.
It really is. And then you have Ernesto Fonseca out there. I mean, the guy got the whole shot. He was in the lead the whole time, and then he goes down in the whoops section. I mean, we're seeing him make the same mistakes all year long. Tough break for his part. But Nathan Ramsey, what a ride for him tonight.
Yeah, it's been a season of transition. It couldn't have ended better, in my opinion, for a guy who should have gotten the East Coast title. He didn't win it. It was his to lose after Travis's unfortunate crash in Atlanta. Well, it was good and befitting to see him come and win the East-West shootout. It almost leads us into the 250 story as well. You couldn't have painted a better picture. Jeremy McGrath gets the whole shot. He's exactly where he needs to go. And unfortunately, sometimes momentum and inertia take you to a place in your motorcycle where you just know you're not supposed to go, but there's nothing you can do. He got on the marbles in that hard right-hand turn after the whoops, and he just spun it out, and that opened the door for Ricky Carmichael.
Exactly. He spun it out. We've seen that a couple times from Jeremy this year. Ricky gets behind him, puts the pressure on him. He spins his bike out, almost stops. Last week, we saw him stall his bike. Ricky goes by, capitalizes on it. Ricky started out in 6th place.
Yeah, and you know, the amazing thing is, it goes all the way down to the wire. Ricky makes the bobble. The good news is we're back here in 4 months for the U.S. Open.
That's right, and Ricky, he ties the record for 13 straight. I can't imagine what Jeremy's thinking right now.
Awesome end to an awesome season.
I'd love to get my tickets right now for the season opener to see if he can continue that win streak. That's right, the U.S. Open coming up in Las Vegas on October 12th, 13th, and 14th right here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. That'll be a wonderful competition, as Ricky Carmichael took that one again last year. It was something else. The one thing that I really admired was the 125 shootout, and of course the motivating factor. The guy, it was his dream to have that 125 class, was the father of Davey Coombs. And Davey, what fan enjoyment that classification gave us tonight.
Yeah, it sure was, and I was kind of surprised to see the winner be Nathan Ramsey. Nathan's a great kid. He's from Tennessee, and as some of you probably know, we do a big race down Tennessee every year. But I want to talk about that number 13, though, that record. Right now it's 13 all. When Jeremy won his 13 races in a row in 1996, he left American Honda at the end of that season. Well, I got to tell you guys, Carmichael's going to leave Kawasaki, and he's going to go to American Honda. I think the difference between this one and that one is Jeremy did it at the last minute on a contract dispute, and plus he wanted to change the pace. With Carmichael, he wants to ride what he feels is the best bike for him. It's not a done deal as I stand here, but it might be as we all wake up tomorrow morning. Robbie?
Well, Davey, I don't know. I cannot count out Jeremy McGrath. There's no way I can do it. Just like you said, yeah, he made the switch, but he came back again. Never count out a 7-time Supercross champion, and Jeremy is that guy. He's going to go and do whatever it takes to beat Ricky next year. If it means training, he'll go find Corey Werf. He'll run 5 miles every morning, 5 miles at night. He's going to do whatever it takes. That's the heart of a champion. Just like you saw out here, Ricky Carmichael, he was good tonight, but Jeremy's going to step it up next year. I can guarantee it.
That seems to be the majority opinion, David.
Well, you know, there'll be so much focus on those guys. Who knows what goes on over the off season? I mean, you know, trying to stay healthy, that's a whole other situation. And
we got the motocross outdoors, the Nationals coming up. And it's rumored that Honda offer includes $1 million bonus if Ricky wins the outdoors as well as taking this title this year.
Well, that's just unbelievable, the kind of money that's being talked around. Of course, that's a rumor, but Ricky's going to have a lot of wear and tear on him by the time he comes around to the next first Supercross of next year, and Jeremy's going to take all that time to try to get his situation improved.
Art Ekman for David Bailey, Davey Coombs, and Robbie Floyd. Thanking also our special guest, Terry Boyd.
Valerio Productions in association with ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.
The prize piece in Barry Halper's priceless collection of sports memorabilia, I always thought, was the shotgun Ty Cobb's mother used to